Hey Cheryl, hey Earl, it's Morgan from Finch, and I just want to introduce you to the all-new generation Chevy Camaro. Behind me I have the SS in the Hyper Blue Metallic, and it's a convertible. It's a 2SS as well, so it has a couple of extra features above the regular SS. And I'm going to go through those with you in detail. So for starters, this is an all-new generation, and one of the coolest things about this new generation is how easy it is to open up the top even from your key fob. Just holding down this button right here, you're going to notice that I can open this up flawlessly. Not only that, is you can actually drive up to 35 kilometers an hour and still have the top go down, which is something that you couldn't do at all on the old gen, and you also had to manually help it out. So now that I have the top down from the remote, I can use either my cell phone or I can use the key fob to remotely start this 6.2 liter V8 engine. This has got the dual mode exhaust on it, and one of the best things about this vehicle is this upgrade. If you can see inside this exhaust pipe here, there's actual baffles. And what you can do is you can control this vehicle and open and close the exhaust depending on either the mode, or you can just shut it off entirely. Not only do I love this vehicle, but I actually own one of these as well. I have a white one that's up the top of the hill over there. And when I go onto my home street, I always turn it into stealth mode just so that I can be courteous to my neighbors, because with 460 horsepower under the hood, it is pretty loud when you want it to be. So I have a 1SS and this is a 2SS, which means that there's a lot of cool upgrades in terms of comfort and creature comfort items that I really didn't have the budget for, but I think that if you take a look at it, I'll show you why there's a great value in getting the 2SS. So for starters, with the 2SS, these multi-spoke rims are only $300 upgrade. On my 1SS, it was an $1,800 upgrade, and there's a lot more value in getting the 2SS with these rims. They're a lot harder to get as well, so you'll notice that a lot of the vehicles on the roads will have a single spoke instead of the split spoke, and the styling of this is actually a lot more desired. It's just the availability isn't as high as it was supposed to be at the original. You'll also notice that it has 4-piston Brembo brakes on here, and then these are Eagle F1 asymmetric 3 tires. Goodyear did about 12,000 hours of testing on this vehicle. I've driven it on the track, I've driven it in the road, and I know that in terms of reliability, it's a harder compound, and it really does hold up on the track just as good as well. So I'm pretty impressed. I was a little apprehensive at first, but once I got on the road with it, everything was blown away after I started driving it. So without further ado, I'm going to bring you inside the vehicle. First thing you're going to notice is that it has passive entry and exit, meaning that I can just walk up to the vehicle, press this and unlock it, and then once I'm done leaving the vehicle, it'll automatically lock up. I don't know if you can see this because it's a nice bright sunset, but this is an illuminated sill plate, and then there's ambient lighting throughout the entire vehicle. It's tough to see with the light right now, but it's blue because I have it in touring mode, which means that it's in the least aggressive mode out of all of them. I can physically change the mode down here, and you'll notice that there's a sport mode which turns the ambient lighting red, and then there's also a track mode which obviously changes the complete characteristics of the vehicle, throttle response, the exhaust baffles, the steering, everything is taken into consideration from these different track modes. And then there's even a snow and ice mode, which is going to shift the transmission a lot more aggressively up so that you're not having to deal with as much torque, and therefore an event where you lose control of the vehicle. So those are the brief introductions of the driving modes. This has the new 8-speed transmission. I honestly took a long time considering transmissions, and I went with the automatic transmission, mainly for the reason of economy, practicality, and then it was actually even a faster 0 to 60. So the 0 to 60, 3.9 seconds in the 8-speed. The active cylinder management is available on the 8-speed automatic as well. And I can tell you from firsthand experience that driving to Goderich or on the 401, I usually average around 8.5 liters because it shuts off half the engine. This is something that is really an awesome strategy that General Motors has, and what it's called is displacement on demand. So I have a beautiful Corvette engine underneath the hood, but if I don't need to use it, I don't have all of it there. I shut a half of it off. So having that ability really helps out in using the vehicle for what it needs to be used for at that specific time. In terms of integration of technology, it has Apple CarPlay now, which is a game changer in terms of being able to have a phone company integrate their technology and make sure that we keep doing what we do best in terms of styling, design, and overall fit and finish of the vehicle, and they can put their best foot forward and we can then just integrate it into the vehicle. So styling cues, this is a Z06 steering wheel. It's a smaller steering wheel, and after using it for a long time, I really do love the layout of the controls, the heated steering wheel over here, and I don't know if you can see this, but there's also a heads-up display on the dash. The HVAC controls are pretty unique. They actually consolidated the temperature and also the fan speed into one cool design, and the reason why is they wanted to make the dash as low and wide as possible. You'll also notice that they built the dash into the actual door frame of the vehicle as well, just to give it an even wider look and feel. The vehicle is 1 inch lower, it's about 0.6 of an inch wider, and it's about 3 inches shorter than the previous generation. And overall, it does give it a good sporty look on the vehicle. So that's a brief introduction of the interior of the vehicle. The baffled exhaust that's on this one, which is called the Performance Exhaust Upgrade. And then last but not least, we have the engine underneath the hood. So I'm going to open that up down here now. Oops, can't reach it. So that is an LT1 engine with 455 horsepower and torque, but because it has the exhaust upgrade, it's 460. The unique design of the vehicle for the SS means that you're going to have horizontal LED lights on the vehicle instead of it being vertical, which is on all the LT models. Hyper Blue Metallic was actually voted the #1 color choice, and it is on the front of the cover for the Camaro right now. And yeah, that's just a brief introduction. I'd love to go into any more questions or details if you have some. And thanks a lot for your time.